In the beginning, in the mind of God, from all eternity, there was the idea of a cow. Then on the sixth day of creation, according to chapter 1 of Genesis, God said, "Let there be the cow." And there was the cow. And God saw that it was good. So, in chapter 2, God put the cow into the garden under the care of Adam. God commissioned Adam to name all the animals. And when Adam looked at the cow, he paused admiringly and thought, "I shall call this one Bakar." That is the word for cattle in both Hebrew and Arabic. Yes, from Morocco in the west to Oman in the east, both in Israel and in the 22 Arab countries, they all use the very same word for cattle, Bakar. In ancient times, Phoenicians and Carthaginians used the same word, Bakar, according to the Grammar of Phoenician and Punic by Stanislav Zegert. The Aramaic language did so also, according to Michael Sokoloff in the Dictionary of Jewish Babylonian Aramaic. The Egyptians, however, had to be a little different, and so they used, for cattle and oxen both, the word yich. Yes, I'm not making that up. The word yich. It was not intended as an insult. They loved their cows, who thrived in the Nile River Valley along the banks of one of the world's great rivers. And they had at least 2 cow goddesses, whom they named Bat and Hathor. They are distinguishable by their horns. Bat had horns that pointed inwards. To me, they look like sheep horns rather than cow horns, but they're a somewhat stylized version of long-horned cows that have their horns pointing inwards. The other goddess, more important really, had outward-pointing horns, outward and upward. Probably these 2 goddesses represented different bovine breeds from different regions of the country or from different historical periods, with Bat's herd probably more ancient than Hathor's. Down then came the Hebrews into Egypt, into this land of cow worshippers, to tend their herds and flocks in the region of Goshen. Pharaoh conscripted them into his labor gangs to make bricks for the building of his cities. But Moses demanded that Pharaoh should set his people free along with their cattle. Pharaoh resisted through 9 plagues, and then he said, "The people can go, but not the cattle." He knew that without cows, the Hebrews would soon be back. So the 10th of the plagues, the death of the firstborn, was for the purpose of liberating the cows. So the Hebrews and their cattle went out, and they wandered in the desert for 40 years, on their way from slavery in Egypt to freedom in the Promised Land. They passed together through the Red Sea, but in the desert the people got very hungry, and so did the cows. So God sent bread from heaven for the people and cared for the animals somehow as well. Eventually, the descendants of those Hebrew people and of those bovine animals would provide a manger in which the Son of God could lie at the stable in Bethlehem. Oh, blessed be those cattle who lent a cradle to their Creator. May their reward be very great indeed.